Hello and welcome back to another video. In this one I'm going to be testing a camera. I don't even know if it works, and I think that's one of the big problems with film photography is you can't really be sure if gear works, and I thought I'd make a video about that because this camera here is really cool. I've been wanting to shoot one of these for a very long time. I was actually debating getting one quite a while ago, but I decided not to, as obviously I had no experience with one, and I have shot a roll with this and it seems to be working, but I'm not too sure as the roll hasn't been developed. But I'm just going to take even bigger of a risk and shoot some colour film with it. I've had this box of Kodak Gold 200 just sitting around for about a year now. In fact, it goes off next month. It expires in November 2024. So definitely need to start shooting it. And there's not really a better way to do that than, you know, by shooting some images with a camera that I've never used before. You know, just brilliant idea. So I thought in this video I would just go out, go to the towns again. I done that in my last video that's been uploaded. I'm not sure if this will be the next one that's uploaded, but you know, that was the place that I went to in my last video that was uploaded, and I want to go back there and get some more images and mainly just shoot some colour stuff, because the colours there are actually quite interesting because you get a lot of like reds from the red brick and you get some nice dark greens, and you know, the colours are quite nice. So I think that could look really nice on Kodak Gold as well, and definitely shooting square format I think it could be quite fun. But for now I'm just going to load this camera up. There is an issue with it, which I have noticed. Let me just quickly clip you to my hoodie. Yeah, there is one issue which I have noticed, and that is when you wind the camera on. Oh wait, yeah, you can't actually wind it on without film. Let me just quickly switch over to multiple exposure mode. That's not working either. Okay, that's weird. I think I can probably still show you without the camera actually having film in it and being like cocked properly. But what I've noticed with this camera is the shutter button on the side, just here. From what I can tell, this shutter button doesn't fully like it's locked right now, but I think that's because there's no film in it. But from what I can tell, this shutter button is the only shutter button that works. There's one down here, but this doesn't work. That seems to just completely lock up the system of shooting. So I think there's an issue where it's like, if this shutter is pressed here, then it acts like the shutter has been shot, but it doesn't actually activate the shutter. So I've had some issues with that, but you know, it's not too much of an issue since I can just use this one here, which actually works. Oh, there we go. But yeah, like, so I'll just show you here. So that's it cocked. I can shoot, but then when I use this other one that's here, it doesn't cock it, but now I can't shoot with that one because it acts like the shutter has already been shot. It's a very weird issue, so yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem, but it's not too much of a problem. So I'm back at the Towns where I was in the last video that I recorded, and I think I've just found my first composition, obviously using the Mamiya C330 with some Kodak Gold. I need to measure the light. Got my little Sakonic L308. Right, so I'm going to do probably f8. I can't do f8. I have to do f16. It's quite bright today, and I'm making use of my new ND filter because I am wide open at f2 right now on the X-T4. It's really nice. Usually I'm having to be at f16. Right, you know what, I am going to overexpose this because it will be metering for the sky, whereas I want to sort of meter for the ground. So I'm going to overexpose it a bit. First image done. So I've just gone through this like bit of bushes here. I really want to get to this building that's behind me. It's like a destroyed brick building covered in vines, and I think this is the way to get there. It's got a pretty cool giant chimney stack in the background, but now I have to go through this, which yeah, Not very nice. Oh my God. So I'm at the building, but like, it's just completely overgrown. I thought this was going to be more open than this. There's another way there. That's way too overgrown. I could go through there. Depends how much I want to actually get photos in this area. Not sure if I want to get them that much, because that is it's quite overgrown. Time to go back through the bushes. So the Towers is filled with places like this. Like, this is just a big ditch, like a crater. From what I can remember, like, some of them are craters where explosives were used, so the walls like stopped anything from getting damaged, and others were where buildings were that explosives were like, built and made in. So, you know, if they did explode, then not as much would be damaged. But like I mentioned in my last video, I never really thought about coming to the Towers to actually take photos, but this is a pretty interesting history right here, and I think I'd like to photograph more of it. I'd like to find more of the abandoned buildings, because those can make some interesting photos. I think this tree here might be my next photo. There's really not much like photo taking going on in this video. I've been here for about 20 minutes and I've only taken one photo, but I think this might be the next one. I just quite like how, you know, it's a pretty weird location for a tree. The closest one is all the way over there up on that hill, and then there's just this tiny one that I guess has just started growing. It's got some like berries on it. Yeah, this is probably gonna be my second shot. Need to get a bit closer. F8 to 500. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know that I used to shoot a lot more film than I currently do. Right now, I don't really shoot film all that much, but for the past 3 weeks, I'd say, I've been shooting a hell of a lot more. And it's kind of scratching that itch that I've had. Like, I've been really wanting to shoot some more film, but I don't actually have any film cameras other than I don't have any medium format cameras, which is what I've been wanting to shoot. I've got my large format camera and I've got a couple 35mm cameras, but I wanted something that was less intimidating than large format and a bit more serious than just 35mm. I used to shoot medium format film all the time, but there is one major problem with shooting film, and that is that you just don't know. You just don't know if the cameras work, you don't know if your film's going to come out, and you don't know if you can trust people on the internet that are selling you these cameras. Like, for instance, this one, I don't know if this even works. I didn't actually buy it because I'm training to be a teacher. I'm actually able to use the photography department gear, so I've been asked to basically just test out a bunch of cameras and see if they're working, and this is one of them. And as far as I can tell, this is working. It does have that weird issue of the shutter being released without the shutter actually going off. You know, if you're buying something online, they could say it's mint condition or, you know, excellent condition or whatever, and then you get something like this where it has that one major issue. And I have been a victim of that myself. I bought a Mamiya RB67 in near mint condition, and I got the camera. It wasn't in near mint condition. It was pretty scratched up. You know, the paint was peeling off in some places, but I was just so excited about using the camera, and I was like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then not even a month after that, literally it was just over a month actually, because I just ran out of the 30-day money back guarantee from eBay. I think it's like 32 days or something after buying the camera. The back broke, the light seals came out, all those got torn out, the back was messed up, and I was just like, what is going on here? Like, literally I put like 3 rolls through this and it's destroyed. And that's what I'm saying, that's the one major problem with film photography, is you just don't know about a number of things, like if it's going to work, if your film's going to come out, or anything like that. And although I do love shooting film, it's one of my favourite things to do, I am just a bit put off by that uncertainty of if things are going to work or not. And yeah, I've been wanting to get a medium format camera again, been testing this out, don't like it too much, so I'm probably not going to get one of these. But you know, it's just good to use a medium format camera again, especially at waist level finding a camera. It's very fun, especially also a 6x6 camera, because I haven't used one in a very long time. So yeah, it's very nice. Anyway, we'll just go and take some more photos. And you know what, I don't even have to move for this next photo, because as soon as I turned the camera off and turned around, I was like, that's quite a nice image. It's the big sand dune, and it's sort of just like pretty ominous, overlooking the rest of this landscape. So I'm gonna take a meter reading. Yes, I am spot meter reading with a not spot meter light meter. So I think I'm gonna do it at 5.6, although I do want more to be in focus. So I think I might do the f16 at 125. There we go. I don't like the shutter sound on this. It sounds really insignificant. And if you know me, then you know, like, I like loud shutter sounds. It's actually a person on top of the sand dune. That's quite cool. You know, I found myself struggling a lot composing with a square format camera, and I think that's why I ended up sending my Rolleiflex. Well, also because I just didn't want to use it because it felt too fancy. But I think another reason is because I just found it so difficult to compose with a square image. And like, I really like square images, don't get me wrong, but I struggle so much with them. But I would love not to. The only way to do that is just to keep shooting square and potentially get better. God, such an insignificant shutter, isn't it? One thing that I'm struggling with right now is getting to the place where I want to be, because there are a lot of people there. I think it's just like a whole family on a day out, and I'd like to be where they are to get some photos, because that's where I actually finished my my last video that I recorded here, and I thought it'd be some, you know, create some really cool images, but unfortunately there's a bunch of people there. I don't really fancy going up there and disturbing them, so I'm just going to wander around here more. I've got quite a few photos left. I've only taken like 3 or 4, haven't I? Yeah, I've already taken 4 images, so I should be pretty okay to just walk around for a bit, taking photos of some stuff, and then eventually going to where I want to go. There's a couple of reasons as to why someone would choose this camera over other cameras. One, it's a TLR, so they look quite cool. 2, it's actually an interchangeable lens TLR. I think there's only this one, and that's it in the entire world, other than like the Mamiya C33 and, like, you know, the Mamiya C220, I think it is. But it's like, you know, other versions of this camera are like the only ones that have interchangeable lenses. One thing that I find really cool with this camera, and probably the reason why I would pick it, is the bellows focusing system. It's the same focusing system as large format cameras and as the Mamiya RB67 and the Mamiya RZ67, and it basically just means that you can get incredibly close to your subject for a photo. Like, for instance, I'm going to photograph this snail shell. Usually you'd have to be about 1 meter away with TLRs, but with this one you can get very close, like I'll show you. So as you can see, there is the snail shell. Close as I can focus, but the thing is, because it's a TLR and it has 2 lenses, you're viewing through this lens and you're shooting through this lens. So that means that you have to compose with this lens and then take into account the parallax error for this lens. And that basically means that you need to compose your shot and then completely move so you can actually get it in focus. It's a bit of a weird system, but it's just a quirk of a TLR. And it's an issue that you wouldn't usually have with normal TLRs because they can't focus this close. Just going to guess my exposure here. I'm going f2.8 at 250, so you can get that nice shallow background. Oh, I think the camera's broke. There you go. I'm going to get another one because I think that one didn't work properly. There you go. So yeah, if these photos actually turn out and, you know, this camera's working and everything, you can just see how close you can focus. I mean, you could see in that video there, but you can't really get an idea of what it looks like through this and what the image is going to look like, but it's kind of crazy. And with that image there, because I was focusing through that lens and then shooting through this lens, I had to actually basically readjust my camera after focusing to make sure that I just couldn't see the snail shell through this one. And I think that means that the snail shell will actually be in this image because I was like this close, like, like that. So yeah, I think I might go up to where I wanted to go now because it sounds like they're gone because they were being very loud, but I can't hear anything now. So I might go up there and, you know, have a look around and see if there's any compositions. Just look how cool this is. Just a massive crater in pretty much like a crater of its own. This is so cool. I don't think I can actually get far enough away to get it all in frame, but I could try going up on that little mound there and seeing if that'll work. But after doing that, I need to go up there and shoot up there. Oh, and the people are still up there, I can see them, damn it. I think going up on this mound here will mean that I can get the whole crater in focus, or in the scene I mean. And I can, but now there's this bush in the way. And I could try and, how stable is this? No, that's not stable whatsoever. What if I'm just like here? Right, I'm gonna go F11, F8 at 1/250th of a second. Did you just see that? I pressed the shutter, it didn't work. I then went to check if the lock was on and I was like, oh, that's weird. So I pressed the shutter again and it worked. See, this is why you can't trust film. It just doesn't look as good anyway. It would have been a wasted shot anyway if I got it, so. Like I need it from here. I need it like up here. That doesn't look too bad actually. I'm not even sure if you can still see me. You can, okay, cool. There we go. Now I've got 3 shots left. Just so you can get some sort of idea of how big this crater is, I'm gonna hop inside. It's pretty big. And just for context, I'm about 5'11", so quite big. And there's also quite a few rocks around here, so I can guess there's some creepy crawlies under there, potentially actually some adders. But luckily it's autumn now, so all of the adders should have gone back into their hidey holes where they can't bite me. Well, it's a bit of a steep hill. I knew it was steep, but bloody hell, it's a proper workout for my legs. Like Jesus, this is very steep. Almost fell backwards then. Oh, and I made it up. This is where I was wanting to shoot. I feel like there might be some interesting compositions here. I don't even know what this is. Like, I can't have any idea of what building this is meant to be. But it's pretty strange. So I think I'm gonna take some photos here. It's also got a very nice view of everywhere. Look how nice that view is. It's also very windy. It's not too much to photograph around here actually. I was hoping there'd be more. But I had a little look around, can't really find any compositions. They're all just quite boring. I don't think the 6:6 format is helping me with that. Let's go look somewhere else. I've moved a little bit. I was down there, now up here. And I think I potentially have a composition, but it's a bit of a weird one. It's not like I usually do. So this could potentially be very shit. The shutter once again didn't fire, and it doesn't need to wind on. So I'm going to try it again. I'm going to have to manually do the shutter, because there's actually an option to shoot the shutter on the lens. That shutter there, that little button, all it does is put a lever down, I'll pull this thing down to hit that, so I can do that myself. There we go. Oh, and it's not even wanting to wind on. Ooh, that's not good. Well, if that's the end of this video, then that is a perfect conclusion as to what I was talking about. You just don't know. It's completely jammed. Well then, guess that's the end.